Translate the French quote "ilny a pas d'amour, ilny a quai de preuves d'amour" to English. I'd like to translate a quote from Pierre Riverdy, or Jean Cocteau. This is an open question apparently. The quote is: "ilny a pas d'amour, ilny a quai de preuves d'amour." For some context in French, see Le Monde's website. I'm searching for a naturally sounding equivalent rather than an exact translation. If you're not a French speaker or are still learning, the quote literally says, "There is no love, only proofs of love." We often use it to mean that good intentions are nice, but that concrete action or money is nicer.
If you're looking for a similar saying in English, you could use "actions speak louder than words," which Cambridge Dictionary says means, "What you do is more important than what you say, because the things you do show your true intentions and feelings."
The French proverb implies that the expression of love indicates the sole reality of love. The proof is in the pudding. Implies that the real worth, success, or effectiveness of something can only be determined by putting it to the test by trying or using it, appearances and promises aside, just as the best test of a pudding is to eat it. Source: MW. Edit. The Old English proverb, "All the proof of a pudding is in the eating," has been clipped to the head scratching "the proof is in the pudding." The proverb has a fascinating etymology. I will quote some at length the Wiktionary entry. This proverb dates back at least to the 14th century, as J.T. is right that every thing himself sheweth in the tasting, and William Camden stated it in 1605 in Remains of a Greater Work, concerning Britain, as "all the proof of a pudding is in the eating," per Rogers' Dictionary of Cliché and the Oxford Dictionary of Quotations, a 1682 translation of Nicholas Boileau-Despreaux's Le Lutrin, written between 1672 and 1674, renders it the proof of pudding seen in the eating. The current phrasing is generally attributed to the 1701 translation by Peter Anthony Motard of a proverb Miguel de Cervantes used in Don Quixote, 1615, "For al freír de los huevos lo vera, you will see it when you fry the eggs." The shorter form "the proof is in the pudding," which is found in an 1867 issue of the British Farmers magazine and came into common use in the United States in the 1950s, is becoming increasingly common, despite missing the point of the original meaning. End edit. Popular culture. To keep the context in realm of l'amour, there is a parallel thought in Lerner and Lowe's "Show Me" from My Fair Lady. I rather like the first line quoted, by Eliza, who was sick of Freddie's romantic words. Don't talk of stars burning above, if you're in love, show me, tell me no dreams filled with desire. If you're on fire, show me, here we are together in the middle of the night. Don't talk of spring. Just hold me tight. Anyone who's ever been in love will tell you that this is no time for a chat. Haven't your lips longed for my touch? Don't say how much, show me. Show me. Source: All Musicals.
Talk is cheap. From this URL. The phrase "talk is cheap" means it is easier to talk about doing something than to actually do that thing. Something but never do it. The expression "talk is cheap" may be seen as a challenge to accomplish something, but it is usually a commentary that someone is not following through on a guarantee or promise. In other words, one may promise to accomplish any number of things, but the words mean nothing unless that person follows through and actually accomplishes those things. The phrase "talk is cheap" is an example of an idiom that was longer at one time. The population was so familiar with the second half of the idiom, it was seldom quoted. Today, the second half of the idiom has generally been forgotten. There were a number of idioms popular in the 1800s that began with the phrase talk is cheap. Some examples are talk is cheap, but it takes money to buy a farm. Today, the expression talk is cheap is often quoted, without the second half of any of the original idioms.
A classic, you talk the talk, do you walk the walk?
One possibility would be, put your money where your mouth is, which the Cambridge Dictionary defines as, to show by your actions and not just your words that you support or believe in something.
이런 건 수업 하나, 무슨